Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a horror film, Haunted Universities, Part 1. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with episode 1. A couple of drug thugs, Grumpy and Dusky, are chilling in their car and notice a girl next to them. Grumpy really likes her hormone smell and thinks the girl is feeling shy, but Dusky said she's feeling afraid of Grumpy. The girl picks up her phone and Grumpy thinks she's calling her husband, but the girl shows Grumpy the finger and drives away. Grumpy gets angry and wants to follow her, but Dusky tells him to focus on their job. A medical team leader is talking to her friend on the phone, but she is interrupted and assigned to check on a dead body due to an accident. A skinny boy named Skinny does a drug deal and takes the cash to his girlfriend, Crybaby, who is drinking with other school kids. Skinny tells the other boys to move away from Crybaby, so they make fun of Skinny. Skinny doesn't care about the others and chills with Crybaby, but then Grumpy and Dusky make an abrupt entrance. They capture Skinny and Crybaby because they want Skinny to give back the drugs he took from their boss. The couple resist them, but they get beaten up and beg for mercy. Later, the couple wake up inside a car and find Grumpy and Dusky in front of them. Skinny says he can't sell their drugs because of the cops, so they demand that Skinny return the drugs he took from them. They also ask for 200 grand in cash, and Skinny agrees so that he can keep Crybaby safe. A mysterious man knocks on the window glass to see if everything is all right. The man recognizes Dusky, so he doesn't say anything and walks away. Dusky is scared of this man because he thinks the man is scarier than a ghost. Now they take the couple to the university area because Skinny has kept the drugs in a locker over there. The couple are taken to the locker and Skinny is forced to open it quickly. Skinny finally hands over the drugs, but Grumpy loses his temper and chokes Skinny. Dusky asks Grumpy to calm down because the drugs are genuine. Now the group decides to go back to the car, but the couple become nervous when they look at a window of the university building. Grumpy demands to know what it is, so Skinny says that there is a ghost living on the 5th floor in the ladies' room. Crybaby adds that a girl hangs herself over there, which is why her spirit haunts the university. The couple warn them that there is a shrine inside the ladies' room, because there is also a nymph in a tie dress roaming around the halls. The two thugs want to check it out, even though Skinny tells them that nobody goes to the shrine, even during the day. The group enters the university and gets into the lift so that they can move to the 5th floor. The couple are scared, but the two thugs don't seem to care about them. The lift suddenly opens up, and the group is shocked to see a ghost. The door shuts before the ghost can attack, but then the lift keeps opening on every floor, and the ghost slowly comes closer and closer. The ghost finally catches up to the group and attacks them. Everyone starts to panic, but the ghost leaves them alone so that they can reach the 5th floor. The lift button breaks, so the group reluctantly gets out of the lift. Tensions rise as the group hears noises everywhere, and then the ghost appears once more. She chases Skinny and Crybaby, while Grumpy tries to get back inside the lift. Grumpy notices the suicide ghost and runs back to the others, but Dusky locks himself inside the ladies' room. Grumpy loses his courage and bangs on the door, hoping for Dusky to open it, but it's of no use. The ghosts attack Skinny, Crybaby, and Grumpy one by one, all of whom were thrown off the building. Now, Dusky turns on the lights inside the ladies' room and notices the shrine. Dusky is suddenly attacked by the ghost, so he runs into a corner. He tries to load his gun, but both the ghosts show up and move toward him. Dusky admits that he's scared and prays to the shrine, but it's of no use as the ghosts attack him. With no other choice, Dusky shoots himself with his own gun. Episode 2 begins with the medical team leader talking to her team about the incident involving the incident of Dusky as they are transporting his dead body. The team tries to understand why Dusky shot himself, but they suddenly crash into a woman on the road. The leader looks on with fearful anticipation, and then she goes to a hospital ward. She talks to her friend on the phone and notices a girl named Niece sitting all by herself. Niece asks the medical team leader for help, and then she explains what is happening to her. A flashback shows some school students dancing and singing to the tunes of fried chicken. However, a fat student nicknamed Fatty interrupts them and says that they should not celebrate on this ground because it has a sad history. Fatty explains that some students died at this very spot in 1976 because a general ordered their deaths. The general happens to be Niece's ancestor, and she's also present with the students. Fatty becomes emotional, so his buddy tells everyone to disperse for now. However, Fatty targets Niece and holds her accountable for her ancestors' sins. The niece doesn't like it and confronts Fatty by saying she isn't responsible for any murders. The niece says that the murdered students must have done something wrong. Fatty decides to take Niece to the scene of the crime and says that the walls are still stained with blood. Now, Fatty takes Niece to a red lift and pushes her inside when she looks into it. Niece wakes up inside the lift and notices the door opening slightly. Niece gets scared when she spots a vengeful spirit and she's able to feel blood all over the lift. Suddenly, the lift fills up with blood and Niece drowns in it. But then she wakes up next to Fatty and all the other students. Niece learns that she was rescued from the lift, but also notices the ghost of a student who looks right at her. Niece sees this ghost everywhere. She goes and gets worried. Fatty meets Niece and apologizes to her for being mean, but maintains that her ancestor is still guilty of killing the students in 1976. Niece notices the ghost once again and panics, but Fatty can't see him. Fatty reassures Niece that the red lift will be removed the next day. Later, Niece's friends ask her to take the lift with them, but she decides to take the stairs instead. The stairs are locked, so Niece goes back to the lift, but her friends leave abruptly and she's trapped inside the lift again. Niece gets haunted by the ghosts of the dead students and begins to cry. Suddenly, the doors open and Niece walks out of it, but she quickly realizes that she's been sent back to 1976 when the shooting happened. Niece is heartbroken to see the horrid sights of the unfortunate day, and she finally spots the ghost boy. Unfortunately, he is killed in front of Niece's eyes, and the other students are killed right after him. Back to the present, Niece tells the leader that she wants to unite the ghosts of the dead students. The leader takes Niece to an isolated location, and after thanking the leader for bringing her here, Niece simply vanishes into thin air. That's when it is revealed that Niece is actually a ghost, as she was the woman who was hit by the medical team in the earlier car crash. Niece unites with the other ghosts from the shooting incident and has a bright smile on her face as the boy ghost is together with the girl ghost. The movie moves to episode 3, where a nervous girl goes to a trainee dentist, short-named Dentist, and holds his hand while he drills a hole into her cavities. Dentist ignores the girl's hormones and carries on with his job, but he is suddenly called to identify some corpses from an ice factory explosion. Dentist doesn't want to do this, but his boss forces him to examine the teeth of the corpses so that he can identify them. Dentist gets to work and opens one mouth, but all the corpses suddenly wake up and attack him. He screams, but finds himself in class, surrounded by his buddy, Joker, and classmates. Everyone laughs at him, but the professor tells them to be serious. The professor mentions that Dentist and Joker have failed their exams and need to come see her at her office. Dentist and Joker are late to the office and cannot find the professor because she has left for the hospital. The boys also go to the hospital and find their professor helping some patients. Dentist and Joker ask the professor to help them with their grades, but she ignores them. A hospital worker asks the professor to cover his shift because he is getting married, but she refuses to help him. Dentist sees an opportunity here, so he and Joker volunteer to cover for the worker without even realizing that they need to work in the mortuary. Later, Dentist washes his hands, but the sink suddenly clogs up. While trying to fix it, Dentist loses his amulet inside the sink, so he tries to get it back. He finds something odd with his amulet, but ignores it when Joker calls him. Joker says that he'll be late for the shift, so Dentist has to go all alone now. Dentist is scared at first, but he decides to be courageous and visits the ward by himself. Dentist has to sit for hours in the ward, and he freaks out when his mug goes missing. Luckily, this was just a prank by Joker, who has now come to give him company. Joker scares him some more by saying that the corpses of this mortuary can close and open their hands at will. Dentist doesn't believe this smelly bullshit, and then the boy goes for a routine check. He enters a ward where there are a few dead bodies, and he gets scared when he sees a corpse moving his hands. But it's just Joker who taunts Dentist because he should have checked the number of corpses on his file. Joker tells Dentist that the corpses might be dead, but ghosts are scary because they are filled with hatred. Now, Joker leaves to go talk to his girlfriend, effectively leaving Dentist alone again. Dentist has to take in a body that has been brought by the leader and her medical team. Dentist is scared to see the corpse, so he quickly shoves it in with the other corpses. However, an officer calls and asks him to check if the fresh body has any tattoos. Dentist hesitates and goes to the corpse room, but loses all his courage when he sees that one body is missing. He gets another call from the officer, who demands to know about the tattoo girl, so Dentist goes back inside the room. However, he runs away again after lifting the cloth of a corpse. Now, Dentist gets a call from the professor. She says Dentist isn't cooperating with the officers, and he is not fit to be a doctor. Dentist decides enough is enough, so he checks the bodies one by one. Suddenly, Dentist starts to see the bodies becoming alive in front of him, so he takes an injection and prepares for battle. Dentist doesn't realize that Joker is hiding underneath one of the sheets, so he takes the injection and is about to attack him. That's when a ghost lady appears and stops Dentist from making a deadly mistake. In the final episode, the leader tells her medical team that she is going back to her hometown. She also asks if any of her team members have spoken with ghosts. Now, the leader thinks back to her past when she was roommates with a girl short named Camril. Camril is chatting with some online boys, but the leader asks her not to share her hormones with them. Despite this, Camril teases her online fans and says that she and the leader are enjoying each other's hormones. A creep doesn't like this and threatens to kill the girls, so Camril shuts her laptop. She plays around with the leader, but the leader senses something ominous and panics. Camril goes out for some food and asks if she can get something for the leader, but the leader just wants her to come back soon. Camril leaves the house, but the creep is shown to be hiding in the closet. The creep knocks on the door, and the leader opens it, but immediately regrets her decision because the creep forces his way inside. Camril is harassed by some bikers, and she tells them to get lost with their smelly ass, but they want to taunt her. Luckily, a man comes to the scene and helps Camril by shooing away the bikers. Meanwhile, the leader is held hostage by Creep, who asks her if she knows who he is. She realizes that he is the crazy man from the online chat room. He strangely decides to leave after the leader is unable to call Camril. On the other side, the helpful man drives Camril home, and they have a decent chat, but then they crash into Creep. The leader calls Camril to tell her about what happened, and Camril immediately identifies Creep. However, it turns out that Creep knows the man with her. The man is actually a psycho killer who likes to torture women. Now Creep and Psycho chase Camril through the woods, but she puts up a fight. Creep is beaten down, but Psycho is able to dominate Camril with ease. Meanwhile, the leader hears some sounds from outside the room, and the door suddenly opens. A ghost enters the room and attacks the leader, but this is shown to be a dream. The leader wakes up and calls Camril, but gets no answer. Camril is about to be attacked by Creep, and even her begging doesn't seem to sway him. Creep brutally assaults Camril and kills her soon after, while Psycho enjoys the view with a smile on his face. Psycho and Creep throw Camril's body into the water, and Psycho decides to introduce Creep to his gang. Camril's phone starts ringing, but it's too late for the leader to save her roommate now. Psycho asks Creep if anyone else knows about their plan. After learning that Camril's roommate is the leader, Creep and Psycho reach the house and are about to enter the room. Suddenly, they hear a loud thumping sound and check where it's coming from. It turns out to be Camril, who is now a ghost. She scares Psycho and Creep, thus allowing the leader to sleep safely that night. Back to the present, the medical team leader reveals that the person she's talking to on the phone is actually her roommate Camril. She says that Camril has finally found her target, so she is leaving for good. The movie ends with Camril getting into a car with Creep and Psycho while wearing a disguise. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.